I'm Cynthia K. I'm the CEO of Alive Studios, and I'm so excited to have our guest, Dr. Ogletree, with us today, Shoni Bryce and Tracy Jackson. It's going to be a really, really cool night tonight. And our discussion is going to be how to increase engagement and get your kids kindergarten ready using novel and collaborative technology. And it's going to be really fun and informative. Now, we also are going to be giving a giveaway tonight. We're going to give away a $1,295 Letters Alive kit to a lucky winner. You have to stay with us through the whole night, which is just an hour. So not really the whole night, just an hour. And at the end, whoever's live is there. We're going to just do a drawing. And if you're there, you're going to win this gift. We're also you're going to see some free offerings that we're going to go over later on, and you'll see those. Let's see what else. You're going to get at the end of the whole thing, you're going to get a link, replay, participation certificate for joining us tonight. And I think that's it for my housekeeping. I don't know if I forgot anything. I'm sure my back team will let me know, and I'll add it in. So, so one of the things I want to show you guys, because Dr. Ogletree is going to talk about her findings with this novel technology that you're going to learn about. And Tracy Jackson's a real live pre-K teacher, and she's going to share what's going on in the day of life with her and her kids using this resource as well, which I always love hearing. And Shoni, she's the district level literacy specialist and coach, and she's going to talk to us about funding, on what kind of funding's out there for these types of resources to help support our pre-K classrooms. And she's got lots of experience to join in with us tonight. So we're kind of like, not Saturday Night Live. I was going to say that. It's not really what we're going to be like. It's more like a talk show. Have fun, be informative. So grab your favorite drink and hope this is really informative for you guys. So before I get started, yeah, Dr. Ogletree, you already got your favorite drink. There you go. I got some tea. That's all I need, more caffeine. Before we get started, when we talk about this very novel collaborative technology, she's going to jump into it. But before she does, I want to give you a sneak peek of what is she going to be talking about. So let me share my screen, and hopefully all the technology works. So here we go. Let's get it up here. So I'm going to share with you Sergio Seal. This is the letter S. And watch this. Hello, Sergio. Hey, Sergio, we've got a lot of people watching, and they would like you to do a flip. Can you flip for them? Thank you. We love Sergio Seal. Isn't that fun? All right, I got another one. Amos Alligator. This is Dr. Ogletree's one of her favorites, and she's going to talk more about it. But Amos, come on out. Ooh, there's Amos. Look at those teeth. He brushes every day, twice a day. And that's Amos Alligator. So I wanted you to at least get a sneak peek of what, and this is called augmented reality, actually, that we're using. But Dr. Ogletree, thanks so much for joining us. And I'd like you to tell the story of how you even got involved with wanting to even do the research of Letters Alive.
Okay, thank you. And hello, everyone. I'm Tammy Ogletree. I am a professor of language and literacy reading at the University of West Georgia. And I've been in literacy for many, many, many years. And I was sitting in a training one day, and we were looking at Promethean board type whiteboards at the time. And at the end of the training, the trainer said, let me show you a new technology and a new supplemental literacy program that is in beta testing. And for those, for that research word, it was just in testing at that time. And she showed the Amos alligator. And I sat up and started paying attention because we had all been very familiar with animated literacy. Like what came to mind today was Schoolhouse Rock, you know, with because it was animation and songs. But then when I saw Amos alligator jumping out at me, and it was letter sound recognition. As a researcher, I said I wanted to know, does this really work? And are the students going to be as impressed as I was? So the trainer gave me Cynthia's number. Cynthia and I met, and I told her, I asked her if she had ever had a program evaluation. And she said no, since the program is so new. And I said, I tell you what, I would like to be an independent researcher. Now, let me explain to you what that is. It means that she didn't pay me. She couldn't pay me because I said, when I do the research on your program, I'm going to report findings, even if it is not what you wanted to hear. Are
Right.
you willing for me to do that? And she said, yes,
Yep.
yes, I am. And I thought, okay, let's see. So I had some classrooms, and literally we handed the kits to the teachers and said, here you go. We gave no training. There was no, we gave no explanation. We said, this is a supplemental resource for you to use with your literacy program. So we just handed it to them. So the teachers had no training. They had to read the instructions to themselves or for themselves and figure it out for themselves. The hybrid classrooms just had partial of the program. And then we had a control group, of course, that didn't have any of the programs. So we would go back, and I had a colleague who was researching with me, and we would sit in the classrooms and watch the students. Now, we did a pre-test on letter naming and letter sounds. And then, of course, after the treatment was over, we did a post-test. And the implementation, the full implementation group, the scores were raised by, now get this, 112%. And then the letter naming went up 100%. But that's not even the best part. We took anecdotal notes. We were watching the students, and we were writing notes furiously, and we would come back after we would observe the students, and the students, their attention spans, they were captivated by this augmented reality, and also their attention spans rose, and we saw positive behavior rise exponentially. And those were additional findings that were surprising to us. So does the program do what it's supposed to do? Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
more. And you have to
Yeah.
understand, I'm not paid for any
Yeah,
of this.
that was very exciting news, because when Dr. Ogletree came to me, the whole reason why we started Letters Alive was because my husband and I adopted two boys from an orphanage out of Latvia. They were 5 and 6, had a lot of trauma in their life, and we got them to speak English, but we struggled to teach them English. Nothing would hold their attention. And I had an elementary ed background. I thought, how hard can this be? I used the latest technology back then, and we mainly cried together. It wasn't working. And I was searching, what can we do to engage our kids, to get them excited about reading? And so that's how we started Letters Alive. And so when Dr. Ogletree came to me and said, we'll get it tested, but, we'll assess them and we'll do some research, I go, you know what? I really want to know if it works, because if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to fold up my tent and stop what we're doing, because why would I put so much energy and passion into something that's lukewarm or not effective? So I was so excited that we got that news, and we've got Tracy. You know, can you share some stuff? Because Tracy actually uses it in a pre-K classroom, you know, even today. Why don't you say what your experience is? Oh, I think you're muted. Yep, you're still muted. No.
Tracy, is the sound up on your computer?
Well, while she's working with the sound, Shoni, did you have any thoughts? Because you've been out in the field, you're working with teachers as well today, and oh, you're muted too.
Well, I can touch my screen and
There you
then mute
go.
really
Okay,
quickly.
okay.
I've been working and coaching some teachers in Georgia schools using Letters Alive recently, and I have to say they are loving it, and we're already seeing some good test results come in. One in Carroll County, she was able to get a grant, and she was able to get Letters Alive, and she's loving it. I think one thing that she told me that is really kind of powerful for, and she's a kindergarten teacher, by the way. She's not a pre-K, but a kindergarten teacher using it in her everyday classroom. I think one of the things that I thought was really cool is that the building of words. So that's something we don't always see, but you can actually build like your at family words, your just like your word families, your chunks, and they were loving that, her kids, and when they would put the letters together. So I hope you show that in a little bit.
I can. I actually can show that. I don't know if Tracy's got. Are you still muted,
Tracy?
It still says you got a little mute mic by your name. No,
Tracy.
Try it again, because your mute mic went away. No. Is your husband around? I know he does tech support. All right. While Tracy's doing that, I'll show you guys what Shoni was talking about with building
Can you
words.
hear me now?
Yes. Hallelujah. Okay. All right, Tracy, go ahead.
See, I really do need my husband, but we're not going to tell him how badly I need
right.
him tonight. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I am so excited to share. When I met Cynthia and Stacy in 2019, this was an opportunity where I got to go and look at so many different things for technology and stuff. And I'm like, there's nothing for pre-K here. This is, really hard. A dog is going to talk for y'all too, but this is really hard for me to come and see all these things that are kindergarten and first grade and up, but not necessarily focused on my little babies. And you guys had a sign up above that said pre-K and kindergarten. I was like, "Ooh, let me see." And as soon as I went, I was hooked, and I kept coming back to see and to watch Cynthia use the animals to reel me back in. And when I say that my kids are hooked, it did not take a second for me to get hooked, and it was less than a second for them. So now that a few years have gone by, of course, with COVID and everything, this is something that is timeless. So I get really excited. I actually completed 16 of my conferences with my parents today. And something I've learned recently is you want things at school to make it to the dinner table. And guess what's made it to the dinner table? But all of the animals. So the kids are talking about Amos, and they're explaining to their parents, did you know that C says more than it? We met Celine cow today, and she makes the S sound because C can make the S sound also. So it's just overwhelming. And
pre-K kids having these
yeah,
dialogues. Sounds.
Absolutely. And, we get our babies, sometimes they're 3 because they have to turn 4 by September 1st. So we get 3-year-olds, and we're bombarding them with this information too. And I know I told a story one time about one of my little guys that had literally just been potty trained and was coming out of his pull-ups and everything. And he went home and shared with his mom about Amos Alligator, and that then his name starts with the letter A, and A says A and I. And she was like, oh, I have failed my child because I never thought that I should talk about letters and the sounds that they make with him because he's too little. And this is just the perfect opportunity for kids to be involved and be up and about. And yes, pre-K babies are very animated, and this is exactly where it's at. But for them to be up and hands-on, be able to hold the cards when they're ready for that and see the different things that they can learn. The standards, being able to do a lesson, and depending on where my kids are at that time of day, they may have an attention span that's longer. And at the end of the day, it may be a shorter, but I can fine tune that into how much time can I ask them to do. And they always surprise me whenever I put an animal up, because it goes in from just, let's talk about the letter, let's talk about the animal, let's ask them some questions, ask the animal questions, to, well, show us their habitat. And again, parents are like, I didn't know my kid knew what a habitat was, but they're 4 years old and they're asking to see the habitat. They're looking at the map on the wall of the zoo to go and find out where each of the animals live. So it's super exciting for that. I do have videos and I'd love to try to show them. I got permission from all of my
Oh,
families.
that's awesome. Yeah, you should be able to. So let's try
Okay.
it.
All right, let's see. And this is just, they were getting to play a little bit with it just to be able to share. But let's see. I'm just going to show you from my drive what this looks like. And I am not a pro. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this first one is one of my little girls, and you can see how teeny they are, just like little ones. But she wanted to be the star on this, and we had talked about the different parts of, we still talk about sentences in pre-K. One of our standards is that letters make up words and words make up sentences. So when we do this, it's very appropriate for our kids to see that, okay, we put an A up there, and look, it's uppercase A because it becomes uppercase at the beginning of the sentence. And then we put bear, can, and then I'll let her take it away. A bear can. All right, let's find out what he says. Eat. Oh, what did he do? Oh, what is he eating? So just, if you watch the excitement on their faces, they steal the show. And I'm just as excited as they are. So I do sound very silly, but being able to watch them do these activities. Let me show you another.
You know what, Tracy, that's a good thing. We find that the teachers are just as excited as the kids are. And we kind of need that these days, for the teachers to be excited. It helps with retention. And I noticed that Dr. Ogletree mentioned that she just kind of handed the kit to him and it's like, good luck. And the fact that they were able to, just how easy it is to implement, right? We need that. We need joy, giggles, and easy things to do.
Yes. And right, when you look at their faces, and I mean, even if you just focus on them and not even the program, you can see how engaged every single one of them are. And that's not the case throughout the day whenever we're in front of them. What does it say, Sunny? Fly. It says fly. That's right. All right, Braden, can you go put it up there? Let's see. A bear can fly. Brody says, no, that would be silly if we saw a bear fly. And you can just see their excitement in participating, getting to go up and put the cards up. We all know that kids can kind of teach us technology. And sometimes I think they figure out new things on here that I didn't even know about. So should I talk about the journals or should I wait?
We'll wait on that. One of the things too, Dr. Ogletree, on one of the notes that you guys made was the regional pronunciation. You want to share that a little bit too?
Yes, as a literacy professor, from Georgia. And I have students, I teach at West Georgia, my master's classes that I teach are all over the United States. So I have students from all over. And in the South, we have problems with what's called wrapping the letter. So when we say B, you hear the many teachers say the letter B is B, the letter C is K, and that's called wrapping the sounds. So when students start to read, they see the letter B and they go bat, and they think that bat is bat. So with letters alive, you don't have that problem because the computer states the letter sound properly. And that helps also the teachers with the letter sound names too. So, yep.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me show an example of that. So,
yes.
you know, I'm visual, so let me do that. So we'll take Brody Bear. There's Brody. And you'll notice it's part, I think my screen is kind of, let me see if I can move the screen up so it's not in the way of the buttons. But here's the animal, but we go to letter mode and now we've got the letter B. And this is how they're learning their letters and sounds, uppercase B, right? And then here's the letter name.
B.
Now here's the sound. Oh, come back. This.
B,
right.
B, B.
So you've got this tool that teaches all the sounds correctly. You don't have to worry about your teacher having like a New York accent. I still have a faded New York accent. There's accents all over the place. And we have that. And then let me show you Amos Alligator. That's coming up. See this, the short vowel, the long vowel.
A.
It's already there for you. And there it is.
Alligator.
And,
Amos. Alligator.
so it's in his name, Amos Alligator, right? So they'll remember it forever. I mean, I would. And so whether it's long or short or hard and soft sounds, it's already done for you. And it just makes it so much easier for the teacher and for the kids. So is there anything else you guys want me to show while I'm here, just to kind of give the idea? What is it? The other thing. Okay. I could show you, let me show, Shoni mentioned building words, and this is also great. Watch this. Now this doesn't have the animals, it's strictly the sounds, right? So there's the soft, but then we've got oops.
Cat.
Right. So you separate them. All right. Push them together.
Bat.
You could build 1,200 words like that. And what a fun way, right, to learn your letters and sounds, and then how you
Cynthia,
can
last week I had the privilege to be in Mobile, Alabama, and there was a little girl. She was about maybe fourth grade. She had a blast building words, and she caught on so quickly, and it was so fun. And I love what she said. She said, "I wish I had this when I was younger." And I'm like, she's fourth grade. I'm like, it was so cute. And I mean, I'm serious. She was putting the words together, but she also loved building the sentences that Tracy kids, like what Tracy's students were doing, building sentences. So, but I just had to say, you know, that building the words and building the sentences, there's still a place for it, even in upper elementary. In stages, and even in special needs rooms. We're working with the school, another school in Alabama that using it in their special ed rooms. And so it's a great tool just to have in your toolbox, you know, another little place that you can keep kids engaged. So while you were showing that, I just thought I'd add.
Yeah. You mentioned special needs. We had he was just turned 5. He's autistic, never spoke. The teacher put down Larry the lion, and the lion, of course, goes roar. And he says, "Wow, That was his first words he spoke. And it was the animals that started bringing him out, right? These animals, they become their friends. And it's just really heartwarming to see that. The other thing is the habitat. Tracy, you mentioned that. Let me just show that real quick. Again, I'm so visual. I like to see pictures. So if I had my one, here's Larry the lion. So this is the one I was just telling you about. Ooh, hi, Larry. But if you put down this video card right next to it, you see the real animal in their habitat. And they're all these short little videos. And the great thing is you don't need the internet. There's no internet with our program. It's all built in. So it's another thing that teachers didn't, have to, worry about. There's cows. So that's very fun with the kids too. The other thing, Dr. Ogletree, you mentioned, we were talking the other day about the science of reading and phonics. You want to expand on that a little?
I do. The new buzzword or the buzz term you will hear quite frequently, and some of you can chime in and talk about that, is the science of reading. And basically, it's about linguistics and phonics instruction and how the brain connects with the sounds and the brain waves connecting from the frontal lobes to the back lobes. So Letters Alive checks all of the boxes for the science of reading. And that's my next research that Cynthia doesn't know about, but I plan to talk to her about how Letters Alive connects or doesn't, but I'm pretty sure that it connects all the boxes to the science of reading. So if any of your administrators or literacy specialists talk to you about the science of reading, you say, hey, I have a program that fits the bill for this. And also across the United States, it is all about early literacy. So the two things, early literacy and science of reading. And I'll talk to you about one more thing, and then I'm going to not talk anymore tonight unless I'm asked to. It's about the shift of reading from learning to read is from birth to basically third grade. And that's when you have to get them in the early years, because the reading to learn hits in the third grade through adulthood. So early literacy is vital. And someone posted in there, pronouncing the letters correctly is vital, especially for ELL students. Yes, yes, and yes. And Letters Alive does that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so powerful. What you're saying is so true. We read in the headlines constantly after COVID that our kids are struggling even more now with literacy and math too. And boy, the role in pre-K that you teachers have and directors and owners are so important, because it's that this 3, 4, 5, and 6-year-old that we need to make it fun and engaging and win literacy in this age group, because they get older, they start losing confidence. It's the other thing, the confidence that these little people feel when they build a word, or they know the sounds, or read a sentence like you saw in Tracy's. They're part of making that happen, and their confidence goes up. So important. So it's just these little things that are big things that we forget. And what you guys do is so important. And so our thing is, we just want to create resources. Gosh, other than my son's inspiring me, really all the ideas that we get is from all over the country, from teachers asking, like our rugs come alive. The animals come alive off the rugs by matching the right habitat to it, right? We have journals. If we have time, we're going to talk about that. They look like a regular journal. maybe Faith, if you can get me a Letters Alive journal over there, I could show it. Thank you. I have a helper behind the scenes, but those come alive as well for letters and sounds, and math for learning numbers and shapes. So we just went crazy because of the feedback that we hear from teachers to try to get you guys the right resources. I'm seeing some questions. Do you need a panel? You just typically it's a kit that you get, and the software loads on a laptop, Mac or Windows PC or a panel. But if it's on a computer, you just hook up a projector to it, or you can hook up a TV and just have a nice, 43-inch TV, 50, doesn't matter, or an interactive panel. So it's really whatever you have. And you can get TVs today, really good ones, for like $300 and have a big screen in front of your kids. And we actually have bundles, and I'll talk about at the end, the bundles that we offer to help with turnkey solutions and things like that. All right, I got kind of off track. So I know the other thing was just making sure it's aligned. Tracy, you talked about it aligned to GELDS for Georgia, but it's aligned to Head Start, creative curriculum. It's supplemental, right? And a Common Core. So you guys can jump in there. I know Shoni, you have a background with all that too, but I just wanted to mention that. Just looking at my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything.
And Cynthia, I'll talk to you a little bit about the curriculum piece, and I want to especially say this for those that out there that are worried about this taking over something. It is, and we talk about this a lot. It's a supplemental. It's not. You're not going to replace your curriculum. So if your administrators are worried or anybody in your district is worried, no, it's a supplemental curriculum. And it's so universal with the animals. I mean, every culture has animals. Everybody understands what a lion is. I know when I have traveled overseas before, that, that's one thing that's universal. So that, they're like the habitats, that ties back to your STEM, your science, talking about, what are these animals doing? Because that's, it's part of being a kid, and the fun part that we sometimes skip over in curriculum, and skip over letting them be 4 or letting them be 5, and let them see what a lion sounds like, or letting them see the peacock. Oh my gosh, Percy is one of my favorites. The peacock, I showed it the other day, and when his feathers spread out, there was a grown adult that had never seen a peacock. Now, I grew up with peacocks in my aunt's backyard. So I had seen the feathers, I've had the feathers, but there was a grown adult that had never seen. And what exciting. And just even, it is a supplemental curriculum. It is just an additional supplemental piece that you can add. It doesn't have to be, any length of time that takes over anything else. And I will say this, we really encourage you to get coaching with this. When you don't have to just have it handed to you. Let somebody come in. I love doing that. That's my jam all day, is to coach. So I'm happy to come in and say, hey, this is how you use it. I know Stacy coaches too, and so we're all about giving you this. Oh, I see that. Yep, fidelity. Yep, I've heard that term a lot in my last 10 years in coaching in district and leadership. Teach your curriculum with fidelity. I hear you, Cindy. But you're still going to teach your curriculum. You just fit this in where it fits your schedule. I will tell you this, one of the teachers I'm working with, she uses it in her small groups. So every day, they're getting Letters Alive at their small group station with their teacher every day when she's doing her rotations with their parapro. So it doesn't have to replace anything else that you're doing. You can, I'll even brainstorm with you ways you can incorporate it into your lessons and how you can do it. It could be your morning message. A lot of teachers still do morning messages.
The science.
It could be in your science part. I mean, because it is talking about how they sound, what they eat, how big they get. I mean, it's just a great fun way. And animals, like I said, are universal across any culture.
Yeah. Tracy, you use it how do you use it basically? Because I know you guys have a curriculum and all that you have to follow.
Right. Well, definitely supplemental, but as far as small group, man, my kids I'd have a large group happening because they are not going to let anybody be involved with an animal without them being a part of it. But what you were saying about the time that you can use it, in Georgia, we have language and literacy time, phonological awareness time that's brought in. Just like Shoni was talking about with the morning message, how incredibly awesome to work all day long, to wait for that, even if you just showed the animal, and this is who we're meeting today, and then to find time to plug it in. I know someone had asked about how long the lesson is, and I think one of the great things is that you can make, with the lesson plans, you can make a lesson what you have time for, and you can stretch it out, or you can just do a little piece of it and then return to it later in the day or the next day or however. But I love that piece of it too, because we find a lot of times where, say, our schedule gets changed in the middle of the day and it was not an expected thing. Well, instead of pulling up YouTube and saying, okay, just, here, let's watch this video. This is totally hands-on. Everybody's engaged and they're learning while they're getting to participate in these animals. I think somebody said bye to one of the animals a minute ago that was not muted. And it kind of made me laugh because my kids have to say bye to the animal before we finish. They truly believe that these animals are magically coming into our classroom. And when, like, the alligator is big behind Cynthia is what it says. You do, I mean, they want to say, can we make the animals big? Well, I'm like, okay, write that down because that's a math standard. And we can put the card under that it says big, the animal grows on the board, and the oohs and the ahs. And then, being able to manipulate this. It is a hands-on activity at any time of the day. So
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's collaborative, right? Because we talk about this, the whole conversation today is novelty, right?
Yeah.
We definitely know, and collaborative, right? Because most technology is not collaborative. And like you said, the kids are getting their hands on it. They're getting up. Your kids were placing the card and then something was happening. The other kids, it's the teacher's part of it, right? It's all very, very collaborative. And then of course that brings in brain science. I think we're using like 7 different learning modalities, right? So you've got kinesthetic, you've got hearing, seeing, feeling, emotions. And that's why the kids retain it. So yeah, it's very powerful. I've got my journal now. I see some people want me to show that. So let me share that real quick. So what I have right here, it's underneath my document camera that actually comes with the kit. This is a kindergarten journal. We have a kindergarten and pre-K, and the kids, this is great for family engagement. And it's also great for just doing in the classroom. So when you open it up, you see it's got the alphabet and it comes with these sticker badges. And so as the kids master their letters, their sounds, they earn these sticker badges. And what kid doesn't like to get stickers, right? So here, when you open this up, there's A is for Amos Alligator. You can color them. You scan this letter bug and see Amos walk. Now I'm actually going to probably show you a video. I don't know if I shouldn't experiment probably live, but the app is free. So the app is a Journals Alive app. You download it for free on your smartphone or your tablet in Apple or Android or even the Amazon. And you download that app and you hover over, it opens up you open up the app in the camera view and the animals come alive, and it looks just like Letters Alive, which is great. They're familiar with it. So, and I'm going to show you a video. And then of course the kids can work on, give a pre-K a lot of open space. We're just happy if they put some lines there, but they love it because they're trying to mimic what they've learned on the app. So let me see if I can stop share and go to use your phone under the dock camera. Yeah, I was going to do that. All right. Let me try it. All right. They're saying, Cynthia, go ahead and experiment. All right, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. Let's do the elephant. So I've got my phone here. See that? Okay. And there is my Journals Alive app. You probably don't know if you could probably see it, but Journals Alive. I'm gonna put my volume on. And okay, so it says, do you have a journal? Yes, I do. I've got my letters. So I've got a math one. Can't see, I've got a math one, but we've got Letters Alive journal right now. So I'm gonna click on that. And you see, it's gonna open up, I say yes. And you see how you can see through it. I'm gonna hover over, let me move this up. I'm gonna hover over the letter E. Woo, there's Edie Elephant. She's very loud, but you'll notice the buttons on the bottom. They are the same buttons that the kids learned with Letters Alive. So they're learning that on their own with their family. So there it is. But we've added something with the app, how to write it. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there we go. The cool thing is the children cannot learn to do it wrong. They will only learn to do it correctly. And that goes in their long-term memory. And then they can kind of learn, they can kind of practice on here too. So it does all 26 animals that way. And you'll notice here, there's a little camera. The kids can take a picture with the letter, or they can take a picture with the animal. And here's the cool thing is you can't take a selfie. You have to actually ask your fellow student, would you take my picture for me? You're learning to take turns. So, all right, Tracy, I'm going to take a picture with you and Edie Elephant, and now you take a picture. So, Tracy, though, you've been using this with your kids. You want to share some of your stories or even video or photos you have?
I was hoping you'd ask. Yes. Okay. So the journals I love to use them during small groups as an independent small group. Now, of course, I taught the kids how to use this, but like I said, we all know that there's kids out there that could teach all of us adults technology. So it is as simple as handing them that phone or that iPad, and then them opening the app. So what I like to do is have my students, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I like to have my students actually I have them take a selfie first that kind of records them that this is their work that's coming up next. And after we've learned one of the animals and the letters, they're charged with basically having fun. But then I love to ask them to go and try to find things that start with that letter name or letter sound that goes with the animal. So they can pick the animal from their journal, just like Cynthia just showed us. And then they can go and find friends. So this is actually a little girl that's name starts with a B. And they're taking her picture with Brody because her name starts with a B. This is a little girl whose name starts with an A. And you can tell that these are kid photographers. So a little girl whose name starts with an E right on top of her face, which they thought was hilarious. Let's see, let me scroll through some of the, let's see.
There's the rug.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the rug. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see. I thought I had some more that were loading, but it doesn't look like they came all the way up. But I will tell you, I have kids that will go around the classroom and take pictures of the backpacks with Brody Bear. And I'm about to pull out my phone the same way that you did, but they'll take pictures of things that we didn't even realize that they were paying attention to all the different things, but they're roaming the room and taking pictures of all of these things in the classroom that start with those letters. But then I can use the pictures to document without following them around or them having to write anything down what they were able to find in the classroom. So I'm scrolling through here to try to get back to their pictures. But it documents and it gives me an independent activity for the kids to be able to do. And then I can go back again and have the option of saying, oh, you know what, they didn't really get A. Let's go back and talk to them a little bit more about that. But the journals for families, kids are always asking for homework. what a precious homework to be able to go home and take pictures of the animals that you met and teach your family what you learned, but then expand it at home too. So
Yeah. And also on our website for free, there's parent guides in English and in Spanish. So if you've got a Spanish speaking family at home, you can download that for free, print it out, and the families can then read in their own language how to work it with their child to learn English together. And if I know, like in Gwinnett County, my county, we have like, I don't know, it's like over 100 different languages spoke. So people definitely have the freedom if they want to translate it into Chinese or Korean. We say, go for it. It's a great resource that we want everybody to have to help with that parent and family engagement. Yeah, that's amazing. So I know we've got just like 12 more minutes. So one of the things I want to just kind of show you on our website, some of the research. You'll get some of this also, some of the free offerings that we're going to send you as well. And I want to, if we have time, I could show you a video on that. And we want to talk about the funding, just some funding there. And then we're going to give away Letters Alive. So let me see if I can, and feel free to talk. Shoni, I see you were kind of smiling, if there's, okay, where is?
I saw somebody ask about the animation a while ago. I've not seen the animation be a distraction. I've seen the animation engage kids that have kind of gotten used to. Most kids are born with an iPad in their hand almost, or a phone, or some type of device in their hand. So I don't see this animation as a distraction. I actually see it as a really positive way to engage them, that they're really incorporated into what's happening in the lesson. And like I heard Tracy said, her kids are going home and talking about it. So if they're going home, they've processed it and they're taking it home with them. I really have not seen that. And I see some people talking about some special ed. We have this right now in 3 classrooms that I've been working with, and I am in great talks with that district, and that school has already purchased more units for their special ed classrooms, and they purchased more units for another classroom in the district. So yes, this is very much engaging for special ed babies. I've got a heart for them. And I'll tell you something too, with those students, a lot of times they've already had multiple strategies. They've already, in special ed programs, have had multiple strategies. And I know this because I work very closely with my special ed director in my former district. She and I were lunch buddies. And so I was over the ESOL at my district for 6 years. And so, sometimes that language barrier would become more than just a barrier, but, become a place where we'd have to have those discussions. And so I would say for special ed, this is very much another way to engage them, to give them something exciting to see every day, not just another worksheet. We all hate worksheets, but let's be honest, sometimes it becomes part of the culture. But this is a great way to engage kids without having to do a worksheet, but also they've had these strategies before, different ones, but here's a different way to give it to them in another way, content. And I do want to say something too about the engagement, Cynthia. I know you and I talk a lot about this, but you have PBIS, you have rewards. This is so engaging. Let the kids be the teachers. What a great way to give a reward for your classroom and engage them. And you saw Tracy's kids were taking over. I mean, these are 4-year-olds. If they could take over.
Tracy's in the back of the room. Yeah.
He's filming and they're like, they got it. Tracy, I was watching, they're like, boom.
Yeah, they're building sentences, in their 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't be afraid.
Structure. Yeah.
And I promise you, this kind of technology, they ain't breaking it. They ain't breaking it. It's great. It's sturdy. It's held up over the years. Cynthia, y'all did a great job in combining all of this because it's really classroom friendly. It's easy to assemble. It's there. When we go and set up a new kit, the teachers are like, that's really it? And I was like, yeah, you do your mat, your document camera, plug it up to your computer, your desktop, or to your panel. You're done. You're done. How many times do we get things, teachers, that are so complicated? We're just like, give us something that we can go and start working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Cynthia. I'll
Yeah,
hush.
no, that's great. No, I'm agreeing with you. I get excited about it all the time. It's just, we're bringing this magical zoo themed learning experience, right, into the classroom. This joy and giggles for the teachers and the kids. And the great thing is it's not subscription. It's a one-time investment into your classroom that you can use year after year. You don't have to worry about, am I going to have the funding next year? Let me tell you, it wasn't the greatest business decision, right? We business people typically like to have subscription, but for me, I'm driven by the mission and really helping the teachers and these children. I mean, I really want to see these children learn how to read, and it changes the trajectory of their life. That's the role that you guys have. It's so powerful. And so, you don't need the internet. You don't need a subscription. You just make that one-time investment in your classroom, use it year after year. And it's so impactful. It's so great. So I know we're running out of time. So I want to show you some free things, and then I want to show you what you're going to be getting. So I'm on my website here. And if you go to classroom resource, well, first of all, let me go to see up here, research. If you want to see what Dr. Ogletree was talking about, just click on independent research, but also you'll see case studies and teacher testimonies and administrator district-wide rollouts. The alignments, right, are right there, whether it's class, crosswalk, Head Start, right, it's all there. But if you click on independent, there's the study that Dr. Ogletree did. You can see the PDF report and interview. Here's some of the highlights, right? Helping with behavior issues. This is another one that was done at the University of Malaysia, another fantastic and independent results there that we put on. Back to classroom resources. You see these free resources? There's a bunch of free resources that we're going to send you some in the link, but you're more than happy to come here. And because we know, we want to add value, and sometimes when budgets don't allow, we want to still equip you with some cool stuff. So that's in there too. So let's go to, I want to show you Letters Alive, since this is what we're giving away tonight. So this is what's in the Letters Alive kit right there. Lots of stuff, what the skills students are going to learn. And we've kind of talked about that at length. There's a lot of videos and goodies and things like that on here that you can watch. The Zookeeper lesson plans, the 6-week boot camp that you can use in 6 weeks, or you can use it over a year with or even half a year with the PreK children. But this is what we're going to be giving away tonight. So we're going to come back to that. But I also want to show you Classrooms Alive. This is probably our #1 seller. Classrooms Alive is that zoo themed learning experience for reading, writing, math, STEM, and social emotional. We threw it all in there. It's everything. It's the journals, the rugs. And you can go on this page to read and learn more about it. I just wanted you to be aware of it. And it's if you look here on the left, it's only $25.95 one time. But here's something we did specifically for PreK. We added tech bundles where if you needed a laptop, we included it. If you need a laptop and a touch screen, we've included it. That's actually several $100 savings. It's only $5,000. And we have another bundle that's an all-in-one for maybe small group. But the really cool thing about this is that we give unlimited support. So we know you guys, sometimes you can't get the support you need. We give tech support, and that's all in there. So I just wanted you to be aware of these bundles that we have. Okay, so what time is it? All right. So
Well,
I think,
Cynthia, how are they going to
Yes.
buy that stuff? How are they going to get it if they don't get it free tonight?
oh, that's a good question. So we, oh yeah, I'm not much of a salesperson, am I? If it's something you guys are interested in, we have, I probably should just show it on here. This would make it easier. It says how to buy. If you look over, it says consultants. We've got My Education Consultants, Power Up Edu is our Southeastern reseller, and Kaplan Early Learning is a national reseller for us. But if you go to My Education Consultant, we have former teachers who can help you. They can give you quotes. and do that. Hey, we forgot about the funding though.
I
we've got
didn't
about,
forget. I was waiting for you.
got about a minute and a half for funding, which, or
All
maybe
right, so let
probably
me
2
get on
minutes.
it. So I work at or have worked at a district office for several years, and I kind of have a unique set of skills of knowing where the money is. And so I'm just going to give you some ideas. And first of all, go check your state websites. Go to your state website, see what grants are available. Most states have some type of literacy initiative going on right now. No lie, check it. Even for 4-year-olds, if you are Head Start, you are federal funds. So you need to check out your state department and your federal funds. Yes, private schools, if they get a voucher, yes, there's probably Georgia PreK. You just got $5,000 per classroom sent to your account. And in that account, you have to be on the approved resource list. So this qualifies as a supplemental curriculum and as technology. So that 5,000 that you just got sent to your box, you may not know about it. Your principal does, your assistant principal does. So you need to have a conversation. Hey, I need some supplemental materials, and here's how you get it. So also, if you belong to an organization, the National Teachers of Reading or International Teachers of Reading, they almost always have a grant page. Every time I go and look, I can look for grants, 500,000. Also, Donors Choose is a great one. That is something I see a lot of teachers using. There's also the National Educators Association. So any of those big associations, you've got availability. You just have to look for the grants. Donors Choose. Then also the COVID money.
Yeah.
It's not all gone. So I know they might be starting to hold it back a little bit, but it's not all gone. So you've got to go and talk to these people. And I know for a fact, you've got to go and have those conversations. Look, I want this. I will use this. I will prompt, hey, I'll train the other teachers once I get trained. So you just have to go and talk to your principals. That's one thing I've seen over and over. I was a literacy coach in the building and at the district level. And so a lot of times things got brought to me and they were like, hey, get this. I was like, all right, let me see it. Let's go play with it. Let's see if we can get a demo. And once a teacher came to me, it was pretty much, let me go through the process. Let me see if it's research driven. You know it is. Dr. Ogletree just told us it's research driven. And she's about to do another one. So you're going to have that backing of the research. You're going to have the backing of it's used in a classroom with 4-year-olds now. We have lots of testimonials and things that we get to, working with teachers in all kinds of places. We've got lots of resources that we can help you and support you.
But again, thank you guys for what you do. It's so important what you're doing. Don't lose heart. And we're here to help in any way we can. So please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and have a great holiday that's coming up, the holidays.